Hey everyone, welcome to Sway Bay and everything else other than that. Let's begin. Yay, the Troy 2 movement is over. So today I'm going to be talking about Ready to Love. This is my second channel. So for those who are not familiar with my content, just know this is my second channel. Feel free to go to my other channel, which is Sway Bay Anime. If you like cartoons and stuff, I talk about that. On this channel, I'm going to be talking about more reality TV because I love reality TV, and I reviewed the first season of Ready to Love. Other than that, so let's begin. First of all, I want to start this video off saying, yay, the Troy 2 movement is over. Hallelujah. Yay, he is gone. He is gone. I am sorry for ruining the end if you are here for that, but yay, he is gone. The Troy 2 movement is over. Sexual harassment Panda's job is over. He is gone. Okay. If you watch my other video, you get the joke. But welcome everyone. Hope that today is going well, but let's begin. So I haven't really took notes for this, so sorry if you really don't like that, but I just want to just rant about some stuff that went on in this episode. So if you want to rant along with me, just continue watching. So this episode was it was okay for me, right? It was nice to see a lot of people together. I'm gonna go out of order for like dates, so just letting you know as a heads up. But, you know, Chris and Amber's date was really cute. I like their date. I feel like Chris is more into Amber than Amber is into Chris. So I think that that's going to be an issue going up. I don't know, going later. I feel like that's going to be an issue as the show continues. I don't know if she really liked him. She seemed like she was digging him. But I also feel like Amber doesn't really emote like that. So we don't know what she's thinking. So I think that's also a thing. But I really feel like Amber doesn't really like Chris like that. And one of the reasons being is that Chris was like, as I was saying, like, I feel like Chris is more into Amber than Amber's into Chris. And I think that that's going to be an issue in the future. I feel like Amber is not necessarily liking Chris or digging him in the same way. So we'll see as that relationship goes. But they did discuss a lot of good things. You know, they were talking about good things. Amber was talking about her childhood and how she was adopted. Chris was talking about, you know, how he wants to find his twin flame. Amber was saying that, like, you know, she doesn't really tell many men that she's a DA. I don't know something. Okay, so also another thing that I want to rant about. The way Chris responds to Amber being a DA, it just seems like he wants to be like a kept man. And it's weird to me because it's like he's not saying that. You know what I mean? Like, I watched this show called this show was called like Marry Millionaires or something like that. And in that show, it's like this older woman and this younger man. Like, he need a sugar mama, okay? Like, Chris needs a sugar mama. I don't want to do that. I feel mean saying that about Chris, though. Because, like, I don't know what Chris wants, you know? But it just feels like Chris wants, like, I don't know. It seems like he doesn't mind the idea of being a kept man. I don't feel like if I was dating Chris, even though I'm not even into traditional roles like that, like, I feel that, like, I would be kind of questioning him a little bit because I'd be like, oh, you really excited about me working independently? Like, you know, anything can happen that you may have to take care of me. Like, you know that, right? Like, you know, but I think that's something that's going through my mind. But, you know, that's not my relationship. If it works for Amber, good for her, you know. Well, if Amber likes it, I like it. David and Stacey went on a date. David and Stacey went on a date. I don't know why they went on a date. They didn't seem like they had good chemistry, but I guess Stacey like talked to him the other day that we seen the last week. But yeah, I don't know. They don't seem like they have good chemistry. They don't seem like they do good together. So when they were talking, I was surprised that they didn't even match up on like what they want. Also, I want to mention this, and I know some people may disagree, but David doesn't seem like he's ready for a relationship, and it's not based off of what Stacey said. It's based off of what he's been saying from the past like 3 episodes. I'm just basing off of that, you know, him being like, I don't want to be left alone again. I don't want anyone to leave me. I need a certain level of openness that I know what's going on. It seemed like he just want to know what's going on at all times so he can prevent himself from leaving. It seemed like he wants to know what things are going on at all times so that he can prevent someone from leaving him. Because I think he was traumatized by his wife leaving him, which who wouldn't be, right? But with that said, I feel like David is not looking for healing. He's really putting all his eggs in one bag in religion and not necessarily doing the process of healing, right? And I think that is going to be very detrimental to him in the future. And even if he does go off and, you know, date someone from the show, I think that that's going to come up consistently. in my opinion. And I think David needs a lot more therapy before dealing with that, because I know, we talk about this all the time in general, like, right, as a society, when someone's dating someone and they have abandonment issues, that's not good for either partner. Sometimes that person is very clingy. Sometimes that person is like not able to, like, do certain things, and very invasive, because they don't want that pain to happen again. And it seems like he's operating from trauma, and not necessarily operating out of like wanting, he's like, he wants a partner, but he hasn't healed from his past relationship. And I do agree with Stacy and the other women when they were in Tommy's lounge, and they were saying that, like, it seemed like David is bringing in his past, because it seems like it, and that's the edit he's giving, right? Even when I'm jumping ahead, right? But even when Amber, let me not jump ahead. It just feels like David needs to work on himself more. Even though some people may disagree and think David was in the conversation with Stacy, and basically the conversation with Stacy was that it was about the conversation around privacy, right? And Stacy was talking about basically she thinks that she'd be able to have her things private, right? Like she don't want to share all her information with her partner. And David, on the other hand, was saying that he wanted to share everything with his partner. I'm more kind of with David's side, where I would like to have like a certain amount of openness with my partner. It's not because I think you're doing anything, but it's just that I like to have that level of openness, because it's just like, it just makes it, if anything was happening, or if I felt any type of security, I know any type of insecurity or anything pop up, or if that person I'm dating felt any insecurity popping up, I know that they can just check that out without even alerting me, like. And so, like, and also, it's not like, even if the phone are open, it's not like people can not like delete like stuff either. I just like it sometimes. I just like it because it's like, you trust me this much, like, it's like a compliment of trust for me. So yeah, it's not like people can't delete messages or voicemails or call, call history. So it doesn't matter if that person was cheating on you or planning to leave. They can always do other stuff. They want to hide it, they can hide it, but like, I just think that it is really, and who's trying to go through people's phone all the time? Like, I'm not saying going through the phone, it's like the access to the phone. Like, if I want to, I can go through your phone, right? Or if I want to, I don't want to go through your phone, but if I want to, I can use your phone, right? Like, like, also in cases of emergencies too, I have issues, like in the cases of emergencies, like where like someone's like sick, and then like my phone is dead, and like I need your password, right? And that's usually due to long-term partners, but I met guys on the first date that were like, they gave me their passcode, like, so like most of the guys I date are pretty open to like, here, get my phone. It's not like they can't hide it. I mean, like, they can still hide stuff they want, but it just like, hey, it's just to me, it's a show of honesty. And like, when people be like, no, I don't want you saying things, like, are you hiding something? But, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're hiding stuff. And then people do what is best for them. Sorry for this little rant. But, but as I said, I'm not judging David based off of this meaning alone. I'm judging him based off of all the past 3 episodes. Because I can get with him, being the way he is, like, with the whole openness. Because I agree with that. And then we have, I think, Vernisha and Ron have a date. So Vernisha and Ron had a date. The date was kind of cute. Ron and Venetia was feeling each other, which was kind of interesting. And I think that was like very funny because, oh no, it was Chrysanthemum. Yeah. Okay. So Ron and Chrysanthemum have a date. And Chrysanthemum and Ron were feeling each other. They like each other. Chrysanthemum was like, yes, I want to be a submissive woman. Ron is like, I want a submissive woman. So they were like vibing off of that. And ain't nothing wrong with that. If y'all both want to live that traditional life, live your best life, right? So yeah, I thought that was a kind of cute date. I thought that was a really cute date for them to be on, and that they were talking about a lot of stuff. So I thought that was cute. Who else? But that episode wasn't giving much for me between them two. Even though I know that it seemed like they really like each other. Alexis, and then as the story goes on, as the episode goes on, Alexis, Jason, AJ, and Liz go on a date. They have a beanbag date. They're throwing beanbags. Jason can't throw for nothing, and he's a basketball coach. But you know what? Basketball is not all about free throws. I think we get that confused a lot. I had to check myself when I was like thinking of that. I was like, you know what? Basketball does not just consist of free throws. There's so many other components to like basketballs. Like you got to get the ball in the hoop, but yeah, you got to dodge, you got to move, you got to, and also it was like undertoss. You don't have to undertoss the ball a lot anyway. So I think that was just something that I was thinking about when Jason was talking about, when Jason and Alexis was losing. I felt like Alexis. See, I know a lot of people think Alexis is thirsty, but to me, Alexis is not necessarily thirsty. To me, Alexis just doesn't know how to date. She's like a terrible dater. She don't know how to date. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't know what to say when she likes a guy, right? She sometimes leads with sex, or she sometimes leads with her personality. She sometimes talks too much or gives too much information. So I think that she just doesn't know how to date versus being thirsty. Because I don't know, maybe I have a different definition of thirsty, but I feel like the standard is very low for her to be like, I don't know, not like maybe I have a different definition of her being thirsty, but I don't think she's thirsty at all. Like I think that like she's just a terrible dater, right? She liked AJ. She gave attention to AJ, right? Right? She wasn't that with most of the guys, right? She wasn't leading with sex with most of the guys, right? She's sexually attracted to AJ. She was trying to show that she was sexually attracted to AJ because she wanted to have sex with AJ. I think that that's like perfectly like, if AJ was into her, they wouldn't be thirsty. They'd be thirsty for each other, which means it would have been a coitus, So like, I don't know. I think that it's not even about that, like I don't think that she's thirsty, but I do think she don't know how to date. Because in this date we find out like, she was talking to Jason about stuff. Jason's having a hard time like removing a parent from her, because I guess he doesn't want to mix his professional life with his personal life. He doesn't want to do that, which makes sense too. Like it's like you work at a school and you date the kids' parents, because like they can get messy really quick. Because they're messing with your money and your business and your privacy, right? Yeah, like if she get mad at you or something like that can mess with your privacy. So I can understand why Jason was not really into that, and that makes sense. But then also I feel like Alexis found him cute, and she was trying to like show him, but he was like really sitting apart from her. And I guess like Alexis was divulging too much. She started talking about other stuff, that she was talking about a lot of personal body things to him, which was kind of like, hey, he don't need to know that. Like now on the first date, I think that that's like something that I don't know, but I think also like the chemistry wasn't boiling that much for her to divulge that information. So I just felt like she was telling him too much, and I feel like he didn't really like that information. So one thing I noticed too, Alexis been on a lot of dates with like around AJ, but she's been dating other people around AJ. So I just wonder like why they keep grouping. I feel like Alexis, I feel like AJ and Liz, like AJ seemed like he was vibing with Liz, but Liz was like Liz is abstinent, right? So she waiting a marriage to have sex, or she kind of in the realm of between abstinence and celibacy. Like she's like, if she wants to know the person she's gonna be with, it's gonna be the person she's gonna be with, right? So she's like waiting for like, she's like very much celibate right now, or abstinence. Even though she used abstinence, I feel like she would still have sex with like a fiance, which is like on her goal of being married, or someone a long time boyfriend, right? But I feel like she just want to make sure that that person is right for her at that time. When it comes to AJ, I feel like AJ really like, I don't know, I feel like AJ really like, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I feel like AJ really, like, I feel like him and Alexis are in the same boat, like, and I feel like this is going to come to fruition, but I feel like AJ and Alexis are in the same boat, and I think that he was saying she was too aggressive or too assertive. I felt like it's because he wanted to flirt and like put that thing on her, but she was putting that thing on him. So like he was just not feeling it, and that was that. He don't mind putting that thing on people. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I feel like that's literally, that's what was in my head. I feel like AJ don't mind like putting it on people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like if he had the opportunity, he would be doing it. We seen AJ's representative, okay? Like, I feel like he's still out here in these streets. And I don't feel like Alexis is out here in the streets, but I feel like they give him the same sexual energy. And then he was like, oh no, I can't, like he was like, also, I'm not going to be abstinent. So I thought that was interesting as well when he was saying that, like, I'm not gonna be an abstinent person anymore, or like I'm not absent. AJ was like, he's not gonna be abstinent with his partner, and Liz was just like, okay, I'm gonna find someone else, or I can make him change. But she's like, I'm probably gonna have to find someone else. So that was her thing. And yeah, she probably is the right thing to do is find someone else. You can't force people to do the things you want. But also, I feel like AJ definitely would have sex with Stacy, would have sex with a lot of people who are giving the same sexual energy to him, because a lot of women are attracted to him, and so he is getting that sexual energy from a lot of people. So I just feel like he just don't find Alexis either like, I just feel like he just didn't find Alexis talking about sex so attractive, but I feel like he'd be totally down to have sex with folks, right? So I think that's also that. What else? We have Joelle and Bernicia. They go on a date. Bernicia looked nice. Joelle really loved Bernicia. I think that was cute. I think they were vibing. They were talking about family, so that was good. It was nothing really much to say about that. It was a really cute date. What else? We had, Liz and David go on a date, so that was cute. I feel like Liz and David have the most compatibility. But again, like, I feel like David is gonna bring stuff in the past, even though Liz says, like, later in the episode, that she doesn't care about, like, keeping accounts open and stuff like for him. I feel like he's bringing up other stuff in the relationship, which she will probably see later, like that type of, like, his other red flags, like talking about, I don't want no one to leave me. Like, so it's always a chance that someone's gonna leave you if you're in a relationship, like, that's what it is. It's always a chance, but you can't let that stop you from being with someone, or you can't stop someone from leaving. Like, what you gonna do, kidnap them? Like, it's no reason. You can't stop that from happening, right? And even though you don't want it to happen, like, that's how I knew at that moment, like, he didn't really deal with his stuff, because it's like, you can't stop people from leaving. Like, if people want to leave, they're gonna leave. People have God gave people free will. If they want to leave, they're gonna leave, and so, like, if people are gonna choose to leave, they're gonna leave you, sir. Like, you can't do anything about it. And I know it's hard, and I know it hurts, but you can't do anything about it. And it's like, that comes with the territory. But then you're gonna meet people who won't leave, right? And you wanna cherish those people who don't leave. Like, not everybody around you gonna leave you, and not everybody that leaves you is gonna be in the world, And so, like, that's something I wish David would understand. But, whatever. I feel like David needs to go heal, I mean, a lot of people on the show need to go heal, but, I feel like Alexis is going to get the most benefit out of this if she really pays attention and realize she got no game. Because I just feel like Alexis can't date. She don't know how to date, so she has no game. And so, like, that's her issue. We're seeing her suffer because she has no game, not because she's thirsty. And maybe a little bit of both, but I don't think she's thirsty. Yeah, and so in the end, they send Troy home. Me Too movement, Troy. Troy movement, Troy 2. They find out Troy 2. Alexis going on a date, I think, with Troy. And Troy is, like, lying and stuff and talking about, like, oh, I didn't kiss anyone. They thoroughly enjoyed it. And, like, ew. Gross. Troy needs to be arrested immediately. JK. But laughing but serious. And then at the end, I guess, like, some people that are on the bottom was David. Stacy really didn't like that David said that. A lot of people felt in other reviews that Stacy was like, basically putting David down and not giving him a chance for the other women. But I think that the other women also seen that as well. And also, I think the other women probably don't want to date him either because he's abstinent. Like, I feel like she didn't really do him a disservice because a lot of people really didn't like him anyway. Because even if they like his personality, they can get over, like, him being traumatized. It's still that David is still abstinent, and a lot of the women seem like they don't want to be abstinent except Liz. So, like, I feel like she didn't really do him a disservice. What else? But Stacy is kind of bitchy, so, aren't we all? But, Stacy kind of seemed like she a jerk. When we were in Tommy's Tavern, we seen that, okay, when we were in Tommy's Tavern, Tessa said something that was really weird to me, but she was like, she said, oh, Joelle looks nice, and I love his skin color. I thought that was weird. But, like, also, I don't know if Joel is just medium color, right? He's not light skinned, so I don't think that's like a colorism issue, is it? I don't know. I just thought that was weird. But I was like, but also, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like you could like people's skin color, like, oh, I love his skin color, right? It doesn't necessarily have to lead to that. It can just be missaid. So I'm gonna give her grace on that. And if she was like talking about other people, light skinned people being prettier than dark skinned people or something like that, or the lighter the berry, the sweeter the juice or something. Like, I know Tupac said the opposite, but you know, if she starts saying stuff like that, then I'm inclined to be like, okay, Tressa, you're not my favorite anymore. Yeah, so David had talks to Amber in the end. I know this is going long, but David talks to Amber. Amber was like, David talks to Amber, and because David, so they had two people on the bottom, which, you know, Troy goes home, so David was the other person they had on the bottom. David was talking to Amber. Amber's all like, David talks to Amber. Amber seemed like she was so frustrated talking to David. Like, she was trying to give it to him. He was like, no, no. I'm not changing for nobody. I'm like, dude, you are bringing in this. And then he just was like doubling down. I'm like, oh my God. He, like, y'all who like David, y'all don't know. Like, y'all need to see him like for what he is. Like, he need to be taking a break right now, because even though Liz can like put up with him, or not, I don't want to say put up with him. Even though Liz can like tolerate him, I don't think that they need to be together immediately right now either, because I feel like David can, because that stuff can come up in different ways. Like, it really is. It can be like, I need to know where you at all times. Like, it can be like, when you get out of work, text me. You know what I mean? It can get into some really minute, bigger things, right? And I think that David does have trauma, and he doesn't want to ever lose anyone. So I think that that's something that's super important to realize. As well as, like, I don't know, I just feel like Alexis needs, I mean, not Alexis, I just feel like, you know, David needs help. And I think that David needs to be real at recognizing the way he reacts to certain things. It's like, you know, he's crying and being very upset, like, you know, and like, it's not saying that doesn't mean that he wasn't hurt, but I think that shows that he's not healed, right? And I think that that's also something that can be, I mean, people won't be 100% healed into relationships, but I think it's also important for us to recognize that David needs to take some time out to really address and see what he needs, instead of, like, you know, trying to control it. Because even when he was saying he was going to be abstinent, he was like, what did David say? Even when he said he wanted to be abstinent, he was just like, I want to make sure someone's here for me and nothing else. And like, it's again, like, abstinence was a way that he wanted to control the narrative again. So I was just like, David, like, you know. Amber also looked frustrated. And then we had Stacey telling Troy, and then Troy was also like, Troy was stupid. Troy was just like, oh, when I hear something once, I would never do it again. And I was just like, people been telling you that, Troy. Like, please look. I think the FBI or somebody should look into Troy, because I feel like he got some allegations out there, because Troy seemed like sexual harassment. he seemed like he Mr. Sexual Harassment over there, touching people. And so, like, I don't know about Troy. Like, you know, my radar's going off, you know. And just because women don't tell you that they are uncomfortable with you, it's like a lot of women don't tell people that they're uncomfortable. Why? Because they feel like you may murder them. Women are constantly afraid about being murdered. So it's just like, of course they won't tell you that, you know, of course they won't tell you that. So I think that that's something that you have to realize, that Troy, like, of course they won't tell you that because they don't want to be murdered. But other than that, this has been Sway Bae Anime. Remember, so yeah, so Troy goes home, so yay. Other than that, this has been Sway Bae Anime. Peace.